Shanti mantra that is to be recited to make our this mind prone or open to receive these ideas, which are very rare. You are very fortunate in a way, because this kind of learning attracts very few people, very few. And I will add a very few fortunate. It is because they are walking on the right path. Do you remember that statement of Jesus in the Sermon on the Mount? Sermon on the Mount is really the crux of Christianity. It is the whole message of Jesus is more or less contained in this Sermon on the Mount. And you see, the speciality is that the multitudes that were following Jesus, they wanted miracles to happen in their life, cure from some very problematic disease, or not having enough money, the family and other problems. All those things, they wanted some miraculous cure for those things. Jesus showed some miracles, but then he ran to the mountain. That it is, and ordinarily people do not want to take trouble. To climb the mountain is troublesome. So they stopped following Jesus, and only a few of his disciples came there. And to them he spoke, very few. They were very few. And it is really very few who are, in that sense, Christians. One day in our chaplain's office in Brown University, we were having discussion about different religions, and I told something about Christianity, and immediately one of the Christian chaplains asked me, "Are you a Christian?" I said, "Well, if to be a Christian means to follow the teachings of Jesus, then yes, I am a Christian." But he was not just satisfied with that. He said, "What church you belong to?" My answer was kind of ready. I said, "What church did Jesus belong to?" So it is these teachings are very important, friends. And there one of the teachings is that very broad, nice is the road looking, lots of people going on them. That road leads to disaster. A very narrow path, a few walking on it, that road leads to the real well-being of a person. So you are very fortunate in the sense you are actually looking for the true well-being, and true well-being lies in knowing oneself. Who am I? So let us begin with the peace chant like we began yesterday. That it is, we'll take up only the second one. Om. Come on, recite with me. Om. Apyayantu mamangani vak pranaschakshu shrotramatho balamendriyani cha sarvani sarvam brahmopanishadam माहं ब्रह्म निराकुर्याम् मा मा ब्रह्म निराकरोत् अनिराकरणमस्तु अनिराकरणं मेस्तु तदात्मनि निरते य उपनिषत्सु धर्मा ते मयि सन्तु ते मयि सन्तु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः Let's read the translation. The detailed word-by-word translation is given here, but we will not read that now. We will read the general translation. It is, yes, some copies of the books are here. If you want, you can take one. So this is a prayer. These mantras are prayers. And when do you need to pray? Do you understand when you pray? When something is, going to happen, something is within your rights, within your capability, then you don't need prayers because it is going to happen. Oh God, let tomorrow be Monday. Do you need to do the prayer? It is obvious, isn't it, by the very fact that today is Sunday, tomorrow, whatever may God do tomorrow, it has to be Monday. So you don't need to pray to God, oh God, may tomorrow be Monday. But something that you badly want to happen and you don't have the power to do it, then the prayer comes up. It is, the prayer comes up. It is one of our devotees. He was from Jewish community. So he used to say, very nice man, that, well, in Vedanta, why should there be prayer? God is within us. So who is praying to whom? I don't care for praying. Then I reminded him of an incident where he and his wife were trapped under a heap of rubble when there was an earthquake. So, and that there was no way to escape that they could see. And then I asked, at that moment, did you pray? The prayer comes automatically then. It is that, oh, save me. The prayer comes automatically. When there is the urgency, when there is no way is being seen. So at that time, the prayer automatically springs up. It is like this situation where you need to know this self, need to know Atman, but you don't find any means to know it. Therefore you pray. And this prayer is very useful prayer. Firstly, it prays for the strength of one's limbs. Let our body, mind, everything become strong, efficient, can do whatever it is supposed to do. It is that prayer. And then let me never reject this oneness, the oneness of the existence. Now here the question is of a deep faith connected with our experience, that we see multiplicity and we do not always see the oneness. Our life is based on this multiplicity, that I am different from you. I and the world. The world, I like things from the world. I am different from the world. That is a, our understanding is like that. But the sages say, no, there is all one. Now one believes the words of the sages, that even though this is not my experience, let me take on faith those words and then try to experience those. So therefore this prayer, that Maham Brahma Nirakuryam, and then may that oneness also not reject me. Ma Brahma Nirakarut. Let there be no denial from any side. And I am aware that realization of this truth requires many virtues to be, acquired. And may these virtues are spoken of in the scriptures. So let me get those virtues. And that is the prayer, the qualification. So yesterday, who asked me about sadhan chatushtai? You asked me, yeah. So these are some of the prerequisites. So let those prerequisites be with me. This is the prayer. Now you find, the apparent conflict and yet unity between one and many. It is our understanding, we simply say many, but it is not so simple. I like a nice story that I had heard it in my childhood. At that time I didn't realize the deeper meaning of it, but now I quote it many times, that story. Just a teacher was seeing whether the students are understanding properly. She was teaching the singular and plural, what is singular, what is plural. And she asked this question, okay, now tell me, pant. Pant, is it singular or plural? And one bright little child replied, on the upper side it is singular, on the lower side it is plural. Isn't it? On the lower side it is plural, on the upper side it is singular. Now if you see philosophically, everything is like that. If, for example, if I say Hindu is one, am I right? Hindu. Hindu is one. But if you look at the limbs of Hindu, that Hindu becomes many. If you look at the microbes inside, she becomes, almost, trillions. So it is like that, one and many. It is, so we have to see what is this one and many. The one pervades this apparent manyness. One very beautiful analogy was given by at our Hindu chaplain, not Hindu, she is actually retired just now, she is a Christian chaplain at Brown University. So she gave a very nice analogy, that suppose you have a huge heap of ice cubes. Now they are all different, isn't it? I identify with one ice cube. I am this. This is my shape. This is my weight. This is my height. I am like this. And then others are different from me. Other ice cubes, they are different from me. and you form relations with other ice cubes. These ice cubes are my parents, and these ice cubes are my siblings. These ice cubes are my friends, my colleagues. These other ice cubes are my enemies, and a whole lot of them are unrelated to me. And one is established in this understanding, but soon I start seeing in this temperature. When I came from Providence 2 days ago, then the temperatures there were 33. And here, when I came to Dallas, it was 81. So imagine that heap of ice cubes kept in 81-degree temperature. And what will happen to me as an ice cube? Soon I will see they are changing. It is, and before long I will see it is all one. Even before it melted, actually it was one. If you see the inside, if you see the substance, it was still one. Mm. But we mistake for the I and the world to be real. The differences are not real, they are temporary. They appear and then they disappear, but the reality stays. The one without second, that is called Brahman here. Brahman comes from the Sanskrit root bruh. Bruh means to expand, that which pervades everywhere in everything. So that is now Brahman. Without that there is nothing else is there. That is Brahman. And it is automatically, it is full of bliss. It is the bliss. If you identify with it, then you are bliss itself. If you identify with one piece, then there is struggle and no peace at all. You keep on struggling. Oh, let me get happiness from this object and that object and that object. Life of a beggar, you know. You keep on begging that, oh, give me happiness. Oh man, bring me happiness. Oh woman, bring me happiness. And where from can they bring? You know, there is, everybody is a beggar who is give to donate to other. So it is. Therefore, you see, the world is full of suffering. As the great Buddha announced, that that's the first noble truth, the noble truth of suffering. It is full of suffering. Why? Because we take this experience for granted. The brave people, they challenge it. No, the differences are superficial. Do you ever eat animal crackers? Did you eat animal crackers? Do you know what are they? What, Krish? Did you eat animal crackers any time? Where is the difference? One animal cracker, say an elephant, another looks like a cat, another like a cow. The difference is only in the shape. Inside the substance is same. You buy by pounds, you know. There you will see a lion is very happily sitting together with a sheep. So it is because those differences are not real. It is all one. As you, little babies get confused about it. And they keep on crying if the baby asks for, I want elephant. If you give that baby, you don't find elephant quickly, so you say, okay, take this is cow. This is cow. And I'm not, I know what is a cow. I know what is an elephant. Actually, the animal crackers are meant for that, to teach the babies about the different animals. So I want elephant, and the baby would start crying, bringing the roof down. Oh, I have to have elephant. But when the baby starts growing, he goes to kindergarten, and by that time knows that all of them are same. So we have to spiritually grow at least up to kindergarten, spiritual kindergarten. We are two little babies. Do we not consider these animals, all of this as different? Different only in appearance. See the underlying oneness, and they are same. It is. So that is what the Upanishads are teaching us. And that is where the apparent difference between the knower and the known also disappears. So the knowledge alone remains. It is the knower and the known, this fictitious division gets annihilated in this oneness. So therefore, uh, you all are very fortunate. You have chosen to study this great science of bringing the ultimate illumination and total bliss in one's life. Otherwise, knowingly or unknowingly, nobody chooses suffering knowingly. But a wrong choice, I mean. It doesn't matter you did it knowingly or unknowingly. It is like they say in law, that ignorance about the law is not an excuse, I broke this law because I didn't know the law. No, that's not considered an excuse. You have to know the law. It is very simple. So, one has to see that if you go this way, where will you go? To suffering. Do you want it? No. Who says yes, I want suffering? Nobody. Nobody will say yes, I want suffering. Everybody wants to get rid of suffering. And how? Simple thing, you don't have to spend any money. To get the pleasures, you keep on spending money. Oh, this will bring me happiness. Oh, this nice dress will bring me happiness. Oh, the bigger house will bring me more happiness. The size of the house and the size of the difficulties that we have to deal both increase together, Mm. They, it is therefore it doesn't bring any happiness in life, but as you start becoming feeling one, you see automatically the happiness increases. Even our small pleasures which are temporary, still they depend on this oneness. Mm. What, Krish, do you like to eat cookie? Yeah. Now Krish here and the cookie here, no happiness. When does he get happiness? When the distance between him and cookie vanishes, gobbles it, and then, hey, you get happiness. So oneness, it is all, uh, but this is an externally tried oneness. It doesn't really become oneness. What is called joy of sex is also trying to become one, which is impossible. It is. But you feel that that will bring me joy, and one gets dragged into it, but it never becomes one. So it is they. Uh, what you need to do is just to realize the oneness. Know that it is one. You don't have to bring two things together to make it one. No, they never become one. Impossible. But there is real oneness that we have to just know, see, experience, and then you become bliss. You don't have to be given something to become happy. You are happiness. So this Upanishad was, yesterday we saw that it is, the question was, who manages to get all our body and mind work, because it is a machine, and machine always means there is somebody who operates it. So for somebody's use it is there. This is an important aspect, that it is, that how things come together in one of the subsidiary philosophies of Vedanta called Nyaya. It says that Sanhatanam Pararthatvat, things are brought together for the use of somebody else, not those things themselves. It is not that the bricks or this mortar and wood automatically comes together. Somebody wants to build a house. So all these things are brought together, put in for the use of the one who wants to live there. So things are always brought together. Samhatana means bringing things together. It is for the use of somebody else. So that is how a computer is made. That it is not that it automatically got made. These are very complex things. Say an organism, it is a very, say for example, even a microbe. It's a complex organism, It is, and so somebody has to make it for one's use. It is here, the scientists, and the bioscientists or other scientists, they say, no, this all happened by chance. All this, there is no maker for this. It all happened by chance. Now just think about it. This word happened by chance. What did you really say? You said in some sophisticated word that I don't know how it happened. An ordinary person will say, "Oh, I don't know." But if you are a scientist, you have to use a special, nice, hi-fi sounding word. No, I know how it happened. It happened by chance. Means actually what? You said that I don't know how it happened. Only use the word chance. So it is, we get sometimes hit by such special words. Oh, these scientists must be knowing a lot. Therefore, they said that it happens by chance. Means we don't know how it happened. The other way of saying is that it happened by chance. So, therefore, our common sense tells that there is this making of this. And so, who is that? And the question is who? Who is making this machine function, and for what purpose? Everything is, we feel that we are conscious entity, but where is that consciousness? We feel there is an I. Where is that I? Even if you dissect the body to the minutest piece, you will not find I anywhere. It is there and it is not there. You cannot find it. Where it is, where is I? You cannot tell. But you are sure of nothing else more than, yes, there is I am. So, who is that who governs all these things? And this is not, as we were discussing yesterday, not an academic question. This person really wants to know this. This is the highest knowledge. Why should we settle for the low knowledge? Let us have the high knowledge, that who is the knower. It is intricate in the sense because there is the resistance from us to know. Otherwise, it is the simplest thing. That and the reply was given that it is inherent, immanent in every expression. And therefore you can't separately see it. You feel the eye. Let me give you an example. Suppose you keep a tub of water right now outside, there is the sun shining, and you will see the reflection of the sun in the water there. Will you not? So now, is the sun in the water? Yes, I see it. Sun is there in the water. Okay, take it out and give me. You can keep on stirring, putting your hands in water for say whole day. Can you take out the sun from water there? No. Why? Because it is seen there, but it is not actually located anywhere there. The puzzle gets solved when you look up. Hey, there is the sun. It is not here, it is reflected here. So, in the body and mind, we get this reflected consciousness, and therefore, you cannot really pinpoint where it is. Like the reflection, you cannot pinpoint where it is. So, this is how this great idea, you can have this experiment, This is actually spirituality or Vedanta is an experimental science. You should experiment with your life, and then you will know things really much better. Our chemistry teacher used to tell right from the first class, chemistry can never be learned only in the classrooms. Chemistry is learned only in the labs as you do experiments. So it is. Similarly, Vedanta, you can say it more. It is the matter of experimentation, changing your life, changing the your pursuits in life, and thus you will get that knowledge better. And therefore it is said, the answer to this question that we saw yesterday, that it is who you were asking, who makes the ear hear and the eyes see. Well, it is the ear of the ear and the eye of the eye. I mean, saying nothing practically again. So, but the teacher is not trying to fool. The teacher is saying that there is no objective way of pointing at the subject. Do you see our foolishness? We try to objectively know the knower. Knower can never be made known. Knower can never be made known, and therefore its knowledge is not of this type at all. This knowledge is experience. So, otherwise our knowledge means, constantly changing knowledge, and that it is like I was asking this Anish, he is doing his PhD in a very important field, cryptology. So cryptology has become more and more important. And I told, look, by the time you proceed, every time this landscape of your study will keep on shifting and changing, because there are intelligent hackers, whatever encryption you put, they will be able to hack it, and then you have to again add more layers of encryption. So you have to, it is always like this. that the thieves are always a step ahead of the police. Police, when some thieving happens, then they start looking for the culprits. So they always have a lead over those who are trying to grab them. So our knowledge is of that type, that we see some problem and then we go to solve it. By the time we solve, that problem has already changed itself. Its form is changed, it appears different now, you have to start from the scratch again. So that is how in all our sciences, friends, and I am using this very with gravity, this word, all sciences, they do not give any definite answer to anything. That answer appears to be definite only for some time, and then oh no, now the understanding has changed. There was a scientist, James Jeans. He has written some nice books about the very idea of scientific knowledge. And he says it is like measuring a shadow, measuring the shadows. Now, if you measure the shadow in the morning, say of a tree, in the morning the shadow would be quite long. So you accurately measure and say it was 18 feet, 3 inches, and so forth. And then, oh, people laud you, applaud you, you may get a Nobel Prize. Oh, you, very nicely, exactly measured the length of this shadow. But the sun rises a little bit more. Somebody gets a doubt. Is it really 18 feet long? No, doesn't look like. Let me again measure it. Oh, it is only 13 feet. What those people didn't know previously. And they determined it like 18 feet. All science, if you see, there is a very nice book by Bell, History of Science. So, in history of science, you will see how those things which were concluded to be the very true, correct, after some times it was changed. In chemistry, there is a great example. I was stunned to see that, when I was a student in studying in my last year of high school. Those days the terms were different. So that it was thought that what happens when things burn, and a logic was provided. Something goes out. So they gave the name to even the name, you give a name and it becomes real for you. Like many people use the word software. So they feel they know just because they know the name. That's all. Everybody now uses the word software. How many really know what it means? Hardly any. Yeah. So, no, I am not exaggerating. It really is hardly any who knows the meaning of this word. So, it is. So, they gave the name to this principle, and they were great scientists. One who discovered oxygen, his name was Priestley. And he was a great believer and advocate of this idea of this fire principle going out when things burn. That it was called phlogiston. Phlogiston goes out, and then what is left is the ash that cannot be burnt. So it is phlogiston-less matter. So, and this theory became so well accepted. So it is, but then somebody was a bit doubtful about it. Is it so? So if he made experiments, and shows that there is nothing that goes out. In fact, something gets combined there. It is the combination with oxygen that is what is causing fire. It is nothing is going out, but something is getting in, and that is why the weight increases. If you have the weight of everything, if you have the burning happening in a closed environment, and then the weight before and the weight after, you will see that the weight has actually weight of that thing increased. So nothing has actually gone out, but has come in. So see, this again completely changed. There was in chemistry another very that dogma continued for many I would say centuries, that organic chemistry is a very special thing because it is from the living things. There is a life force connected with that. And so, and it is, there is evidence, that those reactions that happen in the organisms, they are not easy to make them. It is impossible practically to get that done in your lab. So it was thought that no, these living things have a special force in them called that vital force. Because of that, they can do it. The inorganic things, other things will not be able to do that. Uh, but then another scientist, one in laboratory manufactured urea. Urea is a well-known organic substance, but he manufactured them using what was called inorganic things like nitrogen and such things. And that just broke the non-existent wall between organic chemistry and inorganic chemistry. A very interesting history, that book, if you like to read, it will be wonderful. The history of science. So, how many times what was held to be a sacrosanct scientific idea, it was all demolished in years to come. What I mean is that what we call this knowledge of the object, knowledge of the object, since the object is changing, what happens to your knowledge about the object? That also has changes. So therefore, none of that has any time-tested validity. It is in medical science, it is so obvious. It is when the COVID was coming up, so many theories have been put up by so-called big names, in this field. One doctor who was working, he was actually a bioscientist, and he said he actually works at that lab in Wuhan. And he said, well, we have tested, this virus cannot survive heat. So as soon as the summer will come, it will vanish. I was very skeptic about that idea right from the beginning. Uh, and then the summer came, and the virus actually increased. So then they had to change their version. It was thought earlier. Again, I was very skeptic of that assertion that it is not an airborne virus. Very fast they changed that. It is earlier, you might remember that they were telling don't have the touch, contact, because it is it spreads by contact, it's not airborne. But no, it is airborne also. So the scientists, this changes. When I came to this country in 2001, just before that, it was uh, told that oh, coconut is a villain. Coconut, don't use coconut oil, don't eat coconuts all over, that it will increase your cholesterol. But somebody revisited that and found that it is a myth. Actually, then within a few years it changed. Now it is, yeah, coconut is good for you. See, this is how the object science is, and nothing unexpected about it, because the objects, they keep on changing. Like the example of ice cubes I gave you, that ice cubes. Uh, you measure the shape, the volume of the ice cube, soon it will change. And so your knowledge is, really speaking, no knowledge. It is useless. It is good for the transactional purposes, that's all. But it doesn't have that status of a permanent, stable knowledge. So, and it is with all sciences. All sciences. It will be a topic of a different lecture, that all sciences, including what is called exact science, say for example mathematics. No, when you go deeper, you know that it's not really the case. It is, you have to just shift, and then it is, things become very different. It is, like in the Euclidean geometry, we learn that the three angles of a triangle, their sum is two right angles, 180 degrees. But that will not then work on earth, because earth is a round, and so that will not work. There the sum of a triangle drawn on earth will be very different. So what I mean is that it is, you cannot really determine, is there any Euclidean space? Theoretically only it is there. Practically it is impossible to find and determine that this is a Euclidean space. Sorry friends, I became too technical. I didn't want to. Yeah. So because this doesn't require any technicality. It is just because we are so obsessed with this technical and scientific education, I have to spend some time to say that what you think scientific is really unscientific. It is, because it is, about your knowledge keeps on shifting and changing. It is some very funny things, but that I'll keep it for later discussion. So this knowledge of the self is, we saw yesterday, that it cannot know the knower. There is another way that you have to do. How to know that? It is known, as we saw yesterday, that I am. Everybody knows that I am. That cannot be erased. Howsoever big arguments one can give, the experiential knowledge and the deduced knowledge, there is this big difference in it. Suppose I tell Sonal, the fire is really very cold. Will she accept it? Even if I give 1,000 arguments, she'll say, "Oh, Swami, don't tell me. This is all nonsense. I had burnt my fingers once. That experience is good enough for me to say that fire is not cold. Howsoever you may tell me, I am not going to hold my hand on fire, because it is a knowledge earned from experience. Arguments, the logic cannot erase the experiential knowledge. So, therefore, this knowledge that we are thinking of here, I am, cannot be erased. We all know I am. As Shankaracharya pointed out, even to show that there is no I, you still require another I to show that. So, therefore, I am is a very important thing that we cannot get rid of, and therefore the knowledge of I becomes very important, because everything depends on that. As we saw yesterday, that we were thinking that I will do this for me, I want to get this thing for me, I want a good high paying job for me, I want a spouse for me, for all this is for what? For I. But I don't know what this I is. So what's the meaning of all this saying? So one must know. The teacher continues further, and this is we will be, fast forwarding from the fourth verse. Fourth verse tells that, it is the source of speech, but speech cannot illuminate. Mm. Speech cannot speak about its source. Uh, so, howsoever one tries to tell you about who is I, what is I, one will never be able to tell it to you, because it is not an object. It is beyond mind and speech. Like we do this Sri Ramakrishna's Aratrikam, Namo Namo Prabhu Vakyamanatita. You are, O Lord, beyond mind and speech. So mind and speech cannot catch you. But those mind and speech, they don't have any independence. They rise from you. Mm. So just as, bring this example to your mind's eye, that the waves are rising on the ocean. The ocean does not depend on the waves, but the waves depend on ocean, isn't it? So exactly, we all, God doesn't depend on us, but we depend on God. God is the Brahman. In this Vedanta or Indian philosophy, that God is not extra cosmic, sitting somewhere in the seventh or eighth heaven or whatever. And one has to go there and look for that God. No, that God is right here and now. And that is why Jesus says the kingdom of heaven is here, at hand, in you. We have the kingdom of heaven right within. So, right here, there is a very nice story of Khalil Gibran. Have you heard of Khalil Gibran? A wonderful mystic, and has written so many nice ideas. Someday we may have a retreat here on Khalil Gibran's that book, Prophet. Ah, Prophet. Have you read it, Tracy? Prophet. At one time in America, it was one of the very popular books. People used to read then. It is now very few people read at all. So,
Yes, some quotes,
huh?
not the entirety, but quotes.
It is a small book, you know.
Yes,
Yeah,
I did read it.
yeah, it is. So that Khalil Gibran has a very nice story that one day uh, a there was in a very dense forest, uh, on the path some trekkers were going, and they said amongst themselves, these two, oh, this is such a fearsome forest, very scary forest. Now one tree heard them and then asked another, uh, have you heard of forest? They were saying very scary. I have seen many scary animals here. I have seen rattlesnakes. I have also seen bears and lions. But I have not come across any scary creature. They were talking about a forest. Where is forest? Let us ask this this other tree. They started asking, what is forest? What is forest? What is forest? What is forest? Asked the redwood tree, well, I am here for 400 years, but I also don't know. I have not seen the forest. Where is the forest? Where is the forest? Where is the forest? And then they all heard, you are that. You are the forest. That is what sages tell us. You are that. You are that. The teacher, this is from Chandogya Upanishad. You are that. And the teacher tells, Shraddhasva Somya. Have faith in this. You are that. Faith, in Upanishads doesn't mean that you just swallow without salt and just go about. No. It is, you take it as a premise to be proved in your life. So mold your life, then you get it. Like if you are told that it is, some people go, very nice, that there is, you heard, your friend went and told you, oh, I went to Africa and there is such beautiful, this lion safari, and that it is so nice to see. Then you believe that, but then you don't see that unless you take the trouble of going there. But that uh, excites your mind, say, oh, I must go. My friend went and was praising it a lot. So, and you start making efforts in that direction. So, know that you are that. Uh, where is God? Here. Sri Ramakrishna always insisted, not there somewhere. There means difficult, seventh heaven and eighth heaven or ninth heaven, where to find. So, but right here, please let us accept this. The God is right here, that the speech cannot express it, but this, it is the source of speech. Yad vacha nabhyuditam yena vag abhyudyate. The words are very beautiful. That this kind of Sanskrit is not easy to translate at all. So, what's time? 11. So, we will extend the class a little more and then we will take a short break and then proceed. So, it is these verses from 4th onwards, same thing is told about the other organs as well, up to the mind, that yad manasa namanute, the mind cannot catch it, but the mind is a product of it. So it is, so you can, if you trace the source of where the speech, the sense organs and the mind, where do they come from? That is a great method. You see then the God or Brahman, from which all this springs up like the waves rising from the ocean. So it continues this discussion with other sense organs. So tadeva brahmatvam vidhi, that is the Brahman. It is not an object, but it is all pervading reality. That is the reality. So we will now go to the verse number 9th. Actually, it is the first verse in the second part of the Upanishad. That the, in between something happened, like there are that one act is over in a drama, then second act, there is some gap between it and something has happened between that time. So the new act begins here with the student, after hearing this, has tried and did some spiritual practice, means tried to feel, yes, 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 it is the I that pervades everything. So goes and feels that, this is a, a kind of delusional feeling that we get. Oh, I know, I know. I know. This is, yes. Oh, I go to Vedanta Society now and then, so I know all about Upanishads. Very, it's stupid thing. We don't know anything, but we get the idea that I know. So that student seems to have declared to the teacher, oh, now I understood what you were telling. And the teacher kind of rebukes him, that yadimanyase suvedeti. For the sake of time, we will just read the translation. The preceptor says, thou knowest indeed very little of Brahman's form, if thou thinkest I know it well. I know it well. You know very little. And then what thou knowest of this Brahman among the God is also very little. Therefore, the nature of Brahman is still to be ascertained by thee. You have to probe more. You have to keep on doing the spiritual practice more to get there. You got a superficial thought, that's all. They thought that, yes, yes, I understood. So it is, then you draw these pictures, Brahman, this, that, ocean and waves and all that, think that you know it. Again, you have just objectified it, that's all. So therefore, the teacher says that you have to do more spiritual practice. And then comes the conclusive statement here of this, the second verse of this part, that I do not think. He again probed deep and now says, I do not think I know it well, nor do I think I know it not. Very enigmatic, it is. We will have to throw our understanding of this binary work of brain. The brain therefore cannot get it. It is either this or that. This statement logic cannot understand. That it is, I do not think that I know it not. I do not think I know it well. I do not think I know it not. A very enigmatic but very true statement. It is not to be known in that sense. And it is not unknown either. Because before you know anything, you have to know I. You are aware of it. I know means, is it not that you know you? It is, so thus this is like that. And then it is, in the next verse, it has been clarified more. Brahman is truly comprehended by him who knows it as incomprehensible. That is the way of comprehending, that it cannot be comprehended. That is the knowledge. There was two very sincere spiritual aspirants. They used to stay together in a cave, and one of them used to go beg food and bring it to this other person also, something. It is all asking alms and getting that, and they would do their spiritual practice, and one of them would read the book, the scriptures, and keep on reading, studying, and after studying it, every day he would say, can't understand. Next day also he would say the same thing, can't understand. And so it was continued like a routine, this fellow would be reading the scripture and can't understand. So after about a couple of years, one day while he read and kept aside the book, instead of saying the regular thing, his friend heard, he says, now I understand. Huh? What? For every day you were saying I can't understand, and today what did you understand today that your statement changed? This man said with a great gravity on his face and the face shining with special illumination and joy. I understood that it cannot be understood. Friends, it is a great statement. It is not really a joke. It is. That is, the problem with my people say that you tell so many jokes. The problem is that when I am telling something serious, people laugh. And when I tell a joke, people are waiting for the punchline. So anyway, we shall have a short break and then we will continue. Hmm? Okay.
We come back in 20 minutes? Yeah.
In 20 minutes, yeah.